All right. Obviously, you can tell by that visual introduction, that very brief visual introduction, that this video is about the well-known, well-respected Ruger 10/22 semi-automatic 22 long rifle caliber rifle. A lot of interesting facts about this particular design, so we'll go over a few of them. One, Bill Ruger, who's the one who designed this rifle. It has his namesake, the Ruger 10/22. When he designed this rifle, he also designed this unique feature known as the rotary magazine. Here's 3 of them. I have 4 or 5 of these, but here's 3 that I always keep with the rifle at all times in my rifle bag, as you can see there. So one of them is loaded with some lead 22 just regular old brass Stinger CCI ammunition. I do believe these are the Magnums. It's a rim-fired cartridge. As you can see, there's no primer. See the big C's for CCI, and then the rim sticks out a little bit, and then it's got a lead-tipped 22 caliber bullet. I forget the actual grain weight of these, but it's just good target ammo. It's just standard 22 long rifle Magnum target ammo. These have a high visibility yellow or orange follower in there to let you know that it's empty. So 10 rounds. These hold 10 rounds. And as you load them individually, it basically, you follow suit with the rim of the cartridge, pressing down on the body of the other cartridge before it, and you keep following that pattern until you hit 10 rounds, which this one has 10 rounds in it. And they rotate in there in a circular pattern to hold all 10, like a revolver in a sense. So Bill Ruger was pretty ingenious for that. See, it says 10 shot right there. And then you saw how it loads very basically. Clicks in, and it holds in there, and then here's the magazine release. Real basic. This one particularly is with a polymer all black stock. That was just my personal preference. I'm having some lighting issues here. Okay, so that was my personal preference. You could get it in wood. You can get Magpul furniture. You can get a 10/22 takedown, which is a rifle that's just like this, but it breaks down in half. Very cool rifle. And you can load 1 in the chamber. So 10 plus 1 in the chamber, 11 rounds. Or you can get 15 round magazines and 25 round magazines. And there's probably even 30 rounders and so forth. But Ruger has a proprietary called the BX25, which is a really good magazine because it's reliable. It holds 25 rounds. It still has this system with the rotary at the top, and then kind of like a, the banana clip or whatever to extend out, and it holds 25 rounds. This one, I've had this for so long. This one is mounted with a Simmons scope, as you can see there. So this one is the 1022 tactical, I believe, because it came threaded on the receiver to receive this rail, which I put on myself. It came with it though. When I bought it, it came in the box. I just took this rail and screwed it in, and then mounted the scope with these screws. It grabs onto like a Picatinny rail, and then you just got to zero it, which I did. Went to an indoor range in Los Angeles, which right now obviously is closed because of the COVID thing, but at the time it was open. I've had this for years. So I zeroed it, and it was at 25-yard maximum range. So I maxed that out at 25 yards, and I zeroed it to where it was shooting these little super tight groups at 25 yards. And so now I'm sighted in, and all I have to do now is adjust for windage and elevation if I'm outdoors. So this particular rifle, accuracy-wise, the average person with some basic marksmanship training can get consistent hits out to 200 yards with this, with a scope. Without a scope, you have your iron sights, flip up, and then up front you have like a post. You could still get 200 yards with some basic marksmanship training. It's a very accurate rifle. I would suggest you get some good quality ammunition, which again, I said CCI. They make some good stuff for 22 long rifle. And this rifle is a 22 Magnum. So this rifle is able to shoot 22 Magnum loads. I think it even says it right there. Anyways, doesn't say Magnum, but it is capable of shooting 22 Magnum. And this is the basic design. It's a great design. Very lightweight, durable stock plastic, so it's polymer. It's very resistant to damage, and it's cheap. If you do damage, you can replace it. But I've had this, gosh, man, I don't know, since 2010, I think. So going on 11 years, because we're in 2020, December 27th, about to be 2021. And I said this, I bought this in 2020 or 2010. And I've taken it outside. I've shot it on indoor ranges. I've taken it out to the desert. It's just a good quality fighting tool, or just a plinker, or a varmint gun, and gosh, just trainer for marksmanship and all kinds of stuff. So the main thing I wanted to talk about with this rifle, to answer any questions, is this rifle capable for self-defense or home defense? The answer is yes. The best home defense tool is your brain and wisdom. So if you have a baseball bat, a PR-24 baton, golf clubs, like a 9.9 or a big old driver, whatever you can get your hands on at the moment, and use your brain, that's the best defense tool that you have at your disposal. But practicality-wise, if you do own one of these, or if you plan on buying one of these, does it make a good self-defense tool? I say yes. Again, you get accurate, consistent hits out to 200 meters or 200 yards with this. Absolutely no problem. Of course, it's a small bullet, so the lethality aspect is not like a 12 gauge shotgun or a 45 ACP. It's just different. It's a small bullet. You might have to shoot somebody more than once if they were to aggress you. I don't advocate violence, and I don't advocate killing, and I don't advocate anything that's illegal. I don't advocate harming people. But when you talk about self-defense, I do advocate protecting yourself, protecting your dog, protecting your children, protecting your wife, protecting your house, protecting your family and friends and loved ones. That I do advocate. I don't like violence. I think violence is horrible. And the funny thing is, when you have an armed society, violence goes down. So the more firearms are sold in America, in those areas where there's a lot of gun sales, everybody assumes or presumes that everybody's armed, violence goes down. Statistical fact. Look it up. FBI. You can go to the FBI website and look a lot of this stuff up. So back to this Ruger 1022 tactical. Tactical because it's got the rail. That's why it's the tactical. You don't have to have a scope mounted on there, but that's what makes it tactical. Without the scope, again, you have these flip-up iron sights. You know, old school fork and then the front post. It's a lightweight rifle. I'm not sure the exact weight. I don't have the book, you know, the manual that it came with me. Again, this rifle is 11 years old, but you see it's in pretty good shape, even though it's 11 years old, and I've been shooting it off and on for 11 years. So I recommend it. Crossbolt safety, old school style. Safe or fire safe, fire safe. Here's the bolt. Standard old school, kind of like a, you know, reciprocating bolt. Underneath you have a screw right here. You undo that screw, take that screw out, and this whole barrel assembly and receiver with trigger assembly will lift out of the stock. That's the only thing really holding it in. It does have a barrel band, which I took off right here. I thought it was redundant. I didn't really think you needed it. It's like another thing that's strapped around here. I took it off. Still accurate without it. Matter of fact, now I feel like it's even better, because just like in marksmanship, you want a full floated, a free floated barrel. Now it's free floated because doesn't have that barrel band. What else? Okay, let's talk about the scope. Simmons scope. So this is a 3x9 power with a 32 millimeter objective lens right here. This is your objective lens. And then you have your magnification and your focus right here. And this is focus. Here's magnification is right here. And you can see there's like a little marker right there. You see that little marker, the little dot. So you can tell what your magnification is from low to high. So it's like low is 3, and as you go up, there's 4, 5, 6, 7, all the way to 9. So it's a 9 power scope. Again, okay, so they're 22 Magnum, so this scope is whatever, it's helping out with 22 Magnum, but this rifle is also a 22 Magnum caliber rifle, so 22 long rifle and 22 Magnum, no problem. So now with the scope, I just bought that on my own. They don't tell you at the gun store. They don't recommend unless you ask. So you could get whatever scope you want. There's Loophole. This is a Simmons. There's a lot of people that make scopes for 22 caliber rifles. I like the Simmons, and this one has served me well. How this one particularly works is it has covers for the windage and elevation right here. So you take these off. Let me show you. And then here's your clicks. So 1 click equals a quarter MOA. So that's MOA's minute of angle, and a quarter is, so 1 click will be a quarter inch, moving the strike of the bullet a quarter inch. And then these are waterproof, so you want to keep those on. And then same thing on the side. This is the windage. That one was the elevation. Same thing, quarter inch click, quarter inch strike of the round will move a quarter inch per click. Minute of angle. So like basically at 100 yards, say you're shooting at 100 yards, and you're an inch this way. Click, 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 click. You know, you quarter inch, quarter inch, quarter inch, quarter inch. 4 clicks. You just move the strike of the bullet a whole inch on paper or on target or whatever. Boom. Now you're hitting where you want to hit. That's how that works. It's just marksmanship stuff. Inbox me if you have questions about that. That's a whole other topic to deal with marksmanship. But MOA, again, stands for minute of angle. It's a unit of measurement. And each click will move the strike of the bullet a quarter MOA. 1/4 minute of angle, which is basically like a quarter of an inch. So there's the bolt. Let me see if I can. Let me do something right here. Let me show you guys while I got this thing out. All right, so one of the things, let me set this over here. It's kind of hard to, but I have a tripod, so. All right, there. All right, so let me show you this. With this rifle, you can see there's nothing in there. I took it out. Here they are. So, any safety sallies. It's empty. So to lock this to the rear, it's a kind of a weird process. There is a little tab right there, right by the trigger guard. Hopefully you guys can see that. It's right there. So what you do, you pull, it's a two-handed affair. You pull the bolt open. While you have the bolt open, you hit that tab, and now the bolt holds open, as you can see. I hope you guys can see that. So now that you've held the bolt open, you want to release the bolt. You can't just, like you would with most rifles, you have to hold it open and then hit that tab and then let the bolt go home. So you want to lock the bolt to the rear again, hit that tab, bolt's locked to the rear. You can clean it or inspect the chamber, whatever. And then same thing in reverse, hold that back, hit that tab. Now the bolt will reciprocate. Weapon's unsafe. It's off safe. Back on safe. Lightweight. Extremely accurate, surprisingly accurate. And I like this Simmons scope. It's a good scope. So this weapon was designed all the way back in the early 60s. The Ruger 1022 has been around, gosh, like 60 years, longer than I've been around. So it's an old school rifle with a lot of history. People typically use it, from what I understand, for squirrel hunting, coyote hunting, dealing with that kind of threat if you're out there on a ranch, or if you have a farm and you have critters that come to bother your chickens, like coyotes or snakes or foxes or whatever. This is a anti-varmint type of a gun, and from what I understand, it's good for that. You know, I don't have to deal with that. I live in the city, but I can understand why that would be a good anti-varmint gun. Again, if somebody were to try to do harm to you or your family and they break into your home, I think that would stop them. I wouldn't want to get shot with it. And it's the cool thing is, since it's a 22 and it's got that smaller bullet, you don't have to worry about over penetration and shooting through walls and hitting your friends, neighbors, or whatever. It'll pretty much stop inside the person and not zip through like a high-powered rifle, like an AR-15 would zip through somebody. So this video was in response to a person, specifically because of my last video was about the 45. I talked about my go-to cartridge, which is the 45 ACP. In this particular case, this is the 6 RP220. It's just in a little concealed carry case, but there's your size comparison. Not that it matters, but because it's a pistol and that's a rifle. But home defense, absolutely. Home defense, absolutely. And they both integrate as far as my home defense setup. But as you can see, I have that go bag, that tactical bag, which I've also had since when I bought that bag. I bought that rifle, so this is an old bag. It's got some tears on it. Shotgun shells, you know, some iPro. That's it, and the good old-fashioned Ruger 1022, which again I highly recommend. Marksmanship training, plinking, target shooting in the middle of nowhere in the desert or at a range, an indoor range or an outdoor range. Got some iPro here. This is just some cheap iPro, but whatever. Ruger 1022 by Bill Ruger. Like I said, I think he came out in the really early 1960s, like 60 or 61. It's been around a really, really long time. And it's funny because of that design, then he got into the Ruger Mini 14, which is very, very much like the bigger brother of this rifle. The only difference is the Ruger Mini 14 has like an AR-15 style magazine, and it shot the 5.56 or .223 caliber. Because of the Vietnam War, that was being popular. So the Ruger Mini 14 came out that he designed, which he designed it based around that concept. Open bolt like that and magazine insert right there. When you look at the Ruger Mini 14 and then you look at the Ruger 1022, you could see that this is the little brother. This one started, so basically this is kind of like the big brother because he was first. But again, I gotta check. If anybody wants to know, I will check. So ask me if you want to know when was this designed. But it was like 1960 or 1961. This rifle has been around a long time. You used to be able to buy this through the Sears catalog, or at Sears for like, I don't know, from what I understand, when it first came out, it was like 50 or 60 bucks. So what did I pay for this? I got it for $230, which is the going rate at the time I bought it, which was in 2010, For the Ruger 1022 Tactical, it was $230 at that time on sale. I think I've seen some of these go for like $260, so they've gone up a little bit, but not crazy. But under $300, absolutely. Brand new, you're gonna spend at least $230. Probably between $230 to $260, somewhere in there, $270 at the most. That's without the scope, and that's in this configuration. Now there's the 1022 Takedown, which comes with a nice case, and it separates. It's the same rifle, same caliber, but there's a button that you twist, and then you have two parts, and it becomes more like a survival rifle, and it breaks down. It's pretty cool. I want to get one. So the Ruger 1022 and the Ruger 1022 Takedown, basically the same rifle. The 1022 Takedown is just a newer, more modern, kind of cooler little version of it. But ultimately, this rifle is great. It's got a pretty thick blued barrel. The bluing is really good quality. The funny thing is it's a 22, so it doesn't get too hot when you shoot it. But like it does warm up like anything else. It's going to get warm. But that's a thick piece of steel. So you don't ever have to worry about this thing losing zero and stuff like that, because it's a 22. So it's like in that sense, it would be almost kind of like saying an H-bar or a heavy barrel, because it's a pretty thick piece of steel. If you see that. I don't know. For a 22, that's a thick piece of steel. And wanted to talk about that because I have never done a video about my Ruger 1022. And we were talking about calibers last time. Somebody commented on my video, and I wanted to cover that. You guys already know about the 45 ACP. I talked about that. And you guys already know about the 6 Sauer. I talked about that. That's my go-to sidearm for home defense. And one of my favorite pistols that I own. And a lot of crazy stuff going on in 2020. So I heard gun sales were pretty high. And rightfully so, because it is our right to keep and bear arms, Second Amendment. And that's pretty much all I got on that. But I also wanted to, I got to give a shout out to the gentleman who commented on my video about the 45. He basically, I had on my Marine Corps, kind of like a balaclava mask last time in the video, just because I like that mask, and it has the Marine Corps logo on it, and I thought it's cool. I still do. But in this video, as you can see, I'm not wearing a mask. He was trying to say that I'm scared because of COVID-19. I'm in my house. I'm not afraid of anything. And he was trying to say that nobody's going to take me seriously because I'm scared of COVID-19 and I'm wearing a mask in my house. So what I'm trying to tell to that gentleman, which I'm glad he commented, and thank you for your comment, is number one, I'm not scared. Number two, that me wearing that mask was because I wanted to, because I wanted to display the Marine Corps logo that was on it, the Marine Corps emblem that was on the front of that mask. If anybody has a question, go refer to that video about 45 ACP that I just posted up like within the last 2 weeks. So, gentlemen, I forget your name, that said that, I'm not scared. There's nothing that puts fear into me. Matter of fact, where's that? I don't have it right now, but I do have another mask that says Jesus is my vaccine. If we die, we die. We're all going to die. What am I afraid of? So to dispel the belief that I'm afraid of the COVID virus, I'm not. As you can see, I'm not wearing a mask. Again, I'm in my house. I wear that mask because I want to. But hey, I like the comment. So keep commenting. Again, if you guys want to ask me to do a specific type of video, or you guys want me to pray for you, or you want me to talk about something else. Like I have a Remington 870 pump shotgun. We could talk about that. And stay tuned also because I do post Bible lessons from the Bible, and so if there's questions or concerns about that, comment. Feel free to. And I do one Bible lesson a week, and I try to keep it less than an hour. Okay, and it's pertinent to everything that I experience in my life and what I'm thinking about, things that are common to man, like things that are common to all of us with COVID-19, with living in America, how even racism was in the Bible, how that plays a part in our life. Specific lessons about human nature, God's nature, the sinful nature, what baptism means, things like that. So it's interactive. I would love to have any questions or comments specifically about that. So this one is about the Ruger 1022 takedown and me not being afraid to wear a mask in my own house. And I'm gonna do my Bible lesson next because it's Sunday and it's that time. So I'm gonna do that, and I'm gonna film myself, and you guys can watch the video to find out what the topic is. Again, feel free to comment, like, subscribe, do all that good stuff. Thumbs up or thumbs down if you don't like it. Comment, just be respectful. And if you don't like it, cool. Just be respectful. If you sub, I'll sub back. And what else? Just, ask me to put out a video that you are interested in. And if you think that there's something I can do better, let me know. Thank you guys for watching. The Staff Sergeant Calhoun from Whittier. Out.